Hello, my name is David Webb, and this is a video for Dweebovision. I am a Scrabble grandmaster, and in this video I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully this will help to improve your game, and be fun to watch. The game has just started, so let's join the action. It's me to go first. I don't have a bingo. I do have the J. So I'm looking at short words which use the J. It would be nice to play off the U as well, and I can do that with J-U-N. The rack leave's not bad. Hail. J-U-N only takes a K at the end. A better play than this would be a 5-letter play, placing the J on a double letter square, but I can't see one. I don't think I have a bingo here, but it's a reasonably balanced rack, and I've got some nice consonants, so I ought to be able to leave myself a decent rack leave and score well using the H and the V. I have hive and have and heavier, all short words using both the H and the V. The H is quite a neutral tile. It's quite bingo-y but not hugely bingo-y, so there's no real need to either get rid of it or keep it. And if you keep it, it's insurance against having a low-scoring move next go. Okay, well I can play heavier at J6 across. J-O takes an E, but it doesn't take an I or an A. So heavier would leave I-L. And, well, the other option would be to play vehicle. Ah, vehicle's excellent because it's a double-double. Gosh, I'm glad I didn't overlook this play. This is going to score quite well. 60 points, that is huge. Now, am I overlooking a bingo with vehicle plus an A? Don't think I am. Oh wow, 60 points, that is fabulous. And I'm rewarded with a blank. And that's a pretty good rack. The double I isn't great, but I think the blank and the rest of the rack will enable me to overcome that handicap and play a bingo. So, what is there? Now, vehicle takes an S, Jun doesn't. So, well, diaries, airside plays at L2 across. That's good, that's one bingo. Where else would score well? I guess a bingo beginning with the V of vehicle. I think there probably is one there, but I haven't seen it yet. No, can't see one. And possibly a play in row J, hooking J-O would be nice. I'm going to contemplate 7-letter bingos by running through the blank, running through the alphabet for the blank. Sidaris and Askerid is good. Okay, no great spots for either of those. E I've already covered with the 4 anagrams of airside, or airside plus 3 anagrams. I'm wondering if there's one with a K, and if there was, it would play in column 10, making junk. Not sure about daiquiris, I don't think so. I think that's just with a QU. M looks like there should be one there. Myriads is spelt with a Y. Mid-airs is good. Yes, there was one there. That plays in row G, above the U of Jun. Great, so I've think I have 2 bingos, one of which will definitely play. I might as well continue going through the alphabet. Through an O I would have Sporidia, or through a P. My opponent is taking a while, so he may well be close to a bingo himself. I think there should be one with the T, but I haven't seen it. I think once you have a couple of bingos, it sometimes becomes harder to find subsequent ones. Well, maybe this set of tiles isn't quite as prolific as I initially thought. But I should be bingoing. I can't play in columns 4 or 6 because V doesn't take a tile in front of it. Great, airside remains available. I didn't see any alternative bingos which fitted in this spot. If there is, they will only be marginally better. Airside 80. That's not bad. I have the WU combination, but it's a balanced rack, so I ought to be able to resolve it. A play of HAW or WA. WHA would leave OURS, which, whilst retaining the U, has a degree of synergy. I don't think I have a 7 or an 8 letter bingo. Except through an E I would have warehouse. That's warehouse without the final E. Okay, let's see if my opponent plays an E. That'll be quite a nice word. He doesn't, unfortunately. And I haven't seen any other bingos. So, is there anywhere to play wa or haw? Now, I could play haw at L11 across. 23 points, not a huge score. It'd be nice to get a little bit more than that. I could play wa at M. There's war, isn't there? WHAUR. Now, and that can play down here. This is going to score well. Suboptimal leave, but look at the score, 38 points. That's big. And I've got the S for pluralizing war. So if I can avoid picking a large number of vowels, I might have a decent score for next go. That's not bad. I may have a bingo. I would have downcast onto a T. Can't see a 7-letter bingo there. It's a nice set of tiles. I kept AO. I drew no vowels at all. But that's good. 5 consonants and 2 vowels is fine. Now W takes an O and an A in front of it. My opponent takes that spot. So what are the floaters on this board? There's the N of Jun. Don't have a bingo through that. And there's the A of Yuga, which would give me 3 vowels. I've got the con prefix, and I've got down as a prefix or suffix. Okay, I can't see anything. There's the R of war to consider. Possibly cordrons is good, C-A-W drons, but the R's in the wrong place for that. And I may be confusing it with chaudron. Probably am. So, if I stop looking for a bingo, what do I need to do to sort this rack out? Well, certainly play off the W. The C is quite a bingo-y tile, so I don't need to get rid of that. Now, I could play now at M1 down. It obstructs my use of the S for pluralizing war. But the S mainly features at the end of bingo, so that's not such a big deal. 22 points and a rack leave of CADS. Not great. Can I do better? There may be a decent play in column 3. Going through the first I of airside. Making OWN. Nope, can't see such a play. My W could play at M8, making U, or J8, making Y. So I could play woad at J8 across. Just checking to see what that scores. 28 points, that's not bad. And it splits up the D and the C, which are not particularly synergetic. The C and the N are synergetic because of can and con. And the S has synergy with everything. And this scores more, and this keeps the S ending for war available. So, I think that is fine. Only one vowel. I don't have a bingo. This is a poor rack. BRR is good. That would leave a rack leave of CENS, which would be quite good. BRR plays at L11 across. Only 16 points. But I'm going to struggle with this rack. I have a 142 point lead, which is quite good. But it's still fairly early in the game, so it's quite possible for my opponent to come back with a couple of bingos and take the lead. So there's still plenty to do. But I need to focus on my rack. Haven't really seen anything apart from BRR. If I could just play the B and the R, the rack leave of CNRS is good. Now my opponent takes out my spot, which is irksome since I wanted to play there. Now, I certainly want to play off one of the R's, and I would like to play off the B, it's just not that bingo-y. Ah, well, I can still play, well, I've got a choice. I could play BRR here, or well, I'm ahead, so I don't want to stick the R on the other side. I could play BRRR for 2 more points. I think I prefer this because I have only got one vowel. It's a good vowel, the E, but the E is a much better vowel when it has an additional vowel to go with it. And by playing off 3 tiles rather than 2, I increase my chances of drawing a vowel. Well, I do draw a vowel. I have an additional E, but this isn't a great rack. The duplicate N is the problem here. But Burr is a nice player. It doesn't take anything after it. And Sir has really obstructed the right-hand side of the board for my opponent because he has taken out the woad hook. And Burr obstructs his use of row N, and if he does use row N, he'll be opening row O. Well, that's a good score, 35 points. Now, what shall I do? Seemed is a good 6-letter word, but that doesn't. If I start that at O2, it doesn't reach the triple word square at O8. I certainly need to play off one of my N's. Well, I could play Ned at M2 down. Let's see what that scores. Rack lead is fine. The problem's going to be on the score. Only 16 points. Well, what about playing nude? 18 points, 2 more points. Now looking at the S situation, there's one S unseen, there's one blank unseen. So keeping the war hook open isn't too risky. The rack lead of CENS is good. That's good. Cetanes and 10 aces. And gosh, yes, Cetanes plays in column 3, making Tsar, N and DAE. That'll be really good. Not sure 10 aces plays anywhere. Ah, my spot has been taken. Gosh, how annoying. Just looking around for alternative spots to play my bingo, and I don't think there is one. I can't, only the K goes after Jun. Can't see a play through the U or the N of Jun as an 8-letter word. Now, do I have a play beginning with the R of war at N2? So reenacts blows. Oh, fabulous. Reascent and reenacts. Okay, well, reascent doesn't play. Well, this is fortunate. This was a really tight board. Didn't think I would have a playable bingo, but reenacts certainly is. 69 points. Ide and Re are both good. Now, anything else? Nope, I don't think there is. Great. I don't have a bingo rack, but I have the X and the F, which are both good scoring tiles, and they have synergy together because of Fix and Fox, and I have a whole bunch of vowels which go well with the X. I draw a 5-point penalty. I can't utilise my X in row O. Row O doesn't look that great for me. The C of reenacts only takes an H after it, and both H's have been played, so if my opponent wants to use row O, he's really got to have a word starting at 08, beginning with 2 vowels, and there's not a huge number of those. Great. I have got somewhere I can play Fox. I'm looking at F9 across. I can play Fox or Foxy. Foxy's better. It sorts out the vowel preponderance. It does place the X underneath a double word square. I'm not too bothered about that, because if my opponent puts a vowel in front of the X, there may well be a scoring opportunity in the row above for me the next go. So Foxy for 29 points. I like the score. I can't see anywhere else to play my X. And one thing that's nice about this play is that because it provides that scoring opportunity immediately above the X, I'm adding an additional opportunity to the one that's available in row O, using the triple word square at 08. I'm retaining 2 vowels, so if I do have a vowel heavy leave, then, or rack next go, then both of the openings that are available are ones which are beneficial to vowel heavy racks. Okay, I do have 4 vowels, so it's not hugely vowel heavy, which is fine. The V doesn't play above Foxy. If my opponent plays in column 14, he could do so by putting an R or an S on the end of Foxy. I can't see a good way of playing in row O, so neither rows O or E are good for me. Now, my opponent has lost contact or quit immediately after playing, so hopefully he will return, but until he does so, I will pause this video. Well, the instant I paused it, my opponent returned, which is good. Now, what can I do? I don't have an R or an S for putting on the end of Foxy. I don't have anything to go in front of OP. Well, yes I do. I have an O. So I could play Oak, Ox and Oop. But what's awful about that is that it retains the V, retains duplicate N. So that's not good. But let me see what it scores. I may be tempted. 37 points. Well, that actually is huge. And venin is a good 5-letter word, and I have van and vine, so... And there's only one N unseen, so this isn't the worst rack cleave in the world. And I am denying the spot to my opponent, and my opponent's play of kilt prevents my opponent from making a high-scoring play in row D. Just checking to see if there are any alternatives in this spot. I don't think there is. Oh, well, yes there is. Gosh, Oaken, much, much better. 43 points. Oaken does not take an S, I believe, and Oaken resolves the duplicate N problem, so overall that's a significant improvement over Oak. Not a bingo-y rack, but one I ought to be able to resolve. I have a huge lead at the moment. I have 220 point lead, so this game ought to be in the bag. There's only 13 tiles in the bag, plus 7 on my opponent's rack. Pretty tight board. Plate takes nothing in front of it. Row O looks quite a cold hotspot. It's been available for a while for words beginning with 2 vowels, but the unseen tiles are not particularly vowel heavy. Now, what I can do with this rack is... Well, this is the first thing I've seen. Let's see what it scores. 17 points, that's not bad. Rackley's pretty balanced. There are very few opportunities to play anywhere on this board. I don't want to play from A4 down because there's a blank and S unseen, and a 9 timer would be pretty much the only way my opponent can come back into this game. And what's good about Vig is that it provides very little for my opponent. The best he can do is probably play down from A15 for not very much. I draw the Q. I have good tiles to go with it. I have kneecap as a 5. I've got Chi and Chin. Chi is playable at C4 down for quite a lot. 30 points. Great. Now, is there anywhere for kneecap? Don't think so. Chi is a really nice play here. It scores well and provides my opponent with nothing. Okay, through an I would have Ibogaine. There isn't an I available. Begonia is a 7, but I don't think that is going to be playable anywhere. Perhaps the letters that are left apart from the triple T are really bingo-y, so it's possible my opponent might try and open a bingo lane, in which case I may be able to pounce. Well, he hasn't, so I can't. Begonia doesn't play anywhere. How am I doing for time? 5 minutes left. There's only 1 tile in the bag. Well, what shall I do? I certainly should not play Chi at C5. That will be opening a bingo lane at B5. Last thing I want to do. Now, the S of reenacts takes a T after it, so row O doesn't require words beginning with 2 vowels. A word could be playable starting at 09 with either a vowel or with a T, and there's 3 T's and a blank unseen. So I need to block row O, and I can do that quite easily by playing 2. But that empties the bag, so I might as well plan to go out in 2. So what are the longer words that are playable from either, well, from O8? That's certainly going to score the most. So I could play OI. I could play AIN. Be nice to play off 4 tiles, because that would increase my chances of going out. I am going to draw 1 tile from the bag. So I could play AINE, keeping gob. I'm likely to draw a T. Now does that influence my thinking? I'm not sure it does. This is a really, really tight board. I am miles ahead. My opponent must be bored witless, waiting for me to play. I do need to block row O. I don't think I can play off the B or the G. Well, I think OI is quite flexible. If I draw a T, I can't go out, but I couldn't see a 2 move out anyway. Okay. Iron is better. 17 points. And I do draw a T. Begat is good. Can't see anywhere to play that. Row D onto Oop and Axe looks like the most promising place for a play for either of us, but I certainly can't take advantage of that. Goop is good. By take advantage, I mean play out. Oh, look at column 7. I can play begat and effed. Oh well, I certainly don't deserve that, because I could have planned it and didn't. But begat and effed. My opponent has lost contact or quit again. I hope he returns. I don't really want to hang around for 3 minutes for the adjudication, but I will pause in the meantime. And I'm back. So let's try and play begat again. Pause again. Back again. I guess my opponent's having internet connection problems. Let's try again. Oh, so close. See if we can do it this time. And this time my opponent did not return, so the game has been adjudicated in my favour. The final score 235 to my opponent, 461 to me, a winning margin of 225, which is pretty huge. Let's see what I missed. It's always good to win by 200 points. Every big figure feels good. So winning by 100 feels good, winning by 200 feels very good. Now, it was me to go first. Hajj didn't consider that, but the Rackley of LNU is not good, so I prefer Jun. Vehicle for 60 was best. Now, there were plenty of bingos here, but airside at L2 was the best. Great. Didn't miss a bingo here. Now, an alternative play to war was Woe at J7, which I didn't consider, making Jow high, O, and Ugh for 2 more points, and the Rackley of RSU is probably better than AOS, so war, I think, second best. Great. No missed bingos here. J4 Clown. Oh, I see, again making Jow. I certainly didn't pay enough attention to that hook. Now, what did I do? I played Wood for 28, which is probably not as good as Clown, but not hugely far behind. This is where I played Burr for 12, and at N10, oh, I see, making Sire. Bren's was playable for 30 points. Well, that certainly would have been better. M1, Nude, that was my play. And Reenacts was the only bingo, so I'm delighted to have spotted that. I nearly didn't. Here I played Foxy for 29, but I could have got 10 more points for playing Fox at 04. Okay, making Reef, No and Axe, but the rack lead with double E-double-I is a lot worse than EI, so I prefer Foxy. Ooh, look at that. My opponent, Novals. Oaken looks like it was best. Vibe at A4. Well, that's what I didn't want to do, opening up row A for a 9-timer, even with a V as the 4th tile. There's just no need to take that risk when it's the only way my opponent can win. Here I played Chi at C4, and that looks best. And, well, this is where I played without a huge amount of thought. I played in row O to block the bingos there. And I may not have played the best play, but strategically I think blocking that bingo lane was the winningest move. Yeah, my opponent had Tattlers at 09, so I blocked that. And finally, Begat was the only outplay. So that was a great game, very, well, fairly high scoring and a big spread and a number of bingos, Reenacts and Airside, and it was great to spot Vehicle for 60 as well from an unpromising rack. So a good fun game. I hope you enjoyed watching that and learned something from contemplating the moves and hearing me talking through my thought processes. So thank you for watching. My name is David Webb and this has been a video for Dweebovision.